It's Conduit News Radio with Paul Harrell.
Planners continue to plan, trying to plan our lives for us, and the resistance is strong, though. The resistance is strong. The grassroots are rising up. The more the truth gets to the people of Arkansas, the more we realize we still have a long way to go in getting the right people elected that truly reflect the conservative, limited government opinions of all of us, compared to the very small minority that, believes that government, is the answer to everything. Folks, welcome to the program. This is the intersection of conservative ideas and reality. My name is Paul Harrell, and we're building a liberty machine, and it just so happens that it is Friday, which that means it's Johnny Cash Friday. I really want to thank everybody for starting the beginning of your weekend. The beginning of your weekend with us here at the intersection of conservative ideas and reality. We really do appreciate it. We can't do the show without you listening every day. And I really have to say, if you've just joining us, first of all, Johnny Cash Friday, a day where we try to listen to as much Johnny Cash music as we can, while at the same time peppering in the news and events of the day and the week. Let's just get one more riff in there. Got a little so. All right, so here we go. Let's just, I'm going to get that out of there. We're going to get to more Johnny Cash music when we go to break. That's what we're going to do. That's what we do here on Johnny Cash Fridays. I have to say, I just wanted a nice, relaxing Friday. That's what I wanted. And, looking at the headlines last night and this morning, that's not what you're going to get today on the program. We've got to dive in, folks. It's almost like it feels like it's a Monday here, because we have spent a great deal of time on the special election going on in Senate District 16. And if you want any indication about how nervous the Marble Palace establishment is, the Governor Asa Hutchinson establishment is, then you need to see how they are manipulating the mainstream media to all of a sudden decide to focus on the special election Senate District 16 race. They know that they're losing, in my opinion, and they're trying to do anything they can to derail. And we now know who for sure, if you had any doubt, who's the anti-establishment candidate in this race? Is it Luke Heffley? Is it Breanne Davis? Or is it Bob Bailey? Well, none of the other two candidates are getting hit jobs. Against their own party is doing this. The mainstream media is doing this. The Democrats are doing this. And you heard Bob Bailey at the end of the program yesterday. He was saying, they're calling me about some Facebook post. Is that the best that they got? Well, KARK. You can go find this video over at arkansasmatters.com, but KARK, the NBC affiliate, has decided to draw their viewers' attention to Bob Bailey's Facebook posts about the shooting in Little Rock that happened last year, the supposed solutions for it, as well as criticizing Pine Bluff for having a crime problem. Now, let's get into this report, okay? Let's start. Yeah, go ahead and show that. You can show the, Joe, go ahead and show that. The actual article first. And then go ahead and play. This is Tyler Thomason, Q Mainstream Media. Things are going good. They are worried that there potentially is a $2 billion program at stake. It's status quo versus non-status quo, non-establishment. This lets you know how important Asa thinks that this election is in terms of a bellwether for his re-election hopes in a primary against Jan Morgan. Listen to this post from 2 days ago. KARK, Tyler Thomason. Listen to this.
Off Main Street in Russellville, a Bob Bailey for Senate sign greets drivers cruising through the downtown district. But different images under Bob's name online has some web browsers pumping their digital brakes.
Really?
It's so sad, man.
Current State Representative Charles Blake reacts to a Facebook post from Bailey's firearms business page. It appears to call out Blake 2 days after the Power Ultra Lounge shooting. The post reads...
Stop. Why did he call out Blake? He doesn't say that. It calls out Blake 2 days after the shooting. Why? Why did he call out Blake? Because of the shooting? I think you're leaving, hey, KRK, I think you're leaving a pretty significant piece of information out of your little report here. What was State Representative Charles Blake's solution after 17 people were killed? It was to draft legislation to limit how much ammunition you can buy. Now, you leave that out because most Arkansans, if they heard that, would see how ridiculous it is on its face. And so, here's the actual post, and this was from Bailey Firearms. This idiot from Little Rock wants to punish us because one of his whack job brethren shot 17 people down in Little Rock. Light up his Facebook page and tell him what you think. This ain't California. Now, Bob has said that there are other people, employees, because this is his business, that have access to his Facebook posts, or, a Facebook page, okay? So, essentially, that's saying that somebody else potentially wrote this, but who cares? Who cares? You see this? This is incredible. And KRK is right on the grounds of the Capitol, and you know who the chief editor of KRK is? You know who the chief editor is? Governor Asa Hutchinson. Yeah, you guessed it. That's exactly right. Hey, hey guys, ring, ring, ring. I got a really important, really important race I need you to focus on. Here's a Facebook post. And in case, just so you know, in case in case he maybe didn't tell them to do the report the first time, he certainly told them to do the follow-up report last night when somehow they just decided we need to call other Republicans. We need to call Jonathan Dismang, the Senate pro temp, and we need to ask him what does he think about Bob Bailey's comments. Now, there were more, we're going to get to that report here in a minute. There were more Facebook posts. Okay. Let's go to the other Facebook post they found. Well, actually, cue the report again, Joe. Again, KRK.
This idiot wants to punish us because one of his whack job brethrens shot 17 people down in Little Rock.
I have not spoken with Bob Bailey. I don't know him. I don't know I don't know how to interpret it.
Blake says this is not the first time he's seen questionable.
That's State Representative Charles Blake, who I've spoke to down at the Marble Palace before. He's actually a very, very friendly guy, and we disagree on policy. I totally disagree that you're going to introduce legislation. He had wasn't it him that had the legislation drafted to remove the star or rename the star on the Arkansas flag? Right now one of those stars stands for the Confederacy, and he wanted to take that down. Okay. All right. So keep going here, because there are other Facebook posts that you just can't believe were posted. Listen to this.
Posts from Bob Bailey. This one appears to show a meme Bailey shared, mocking Superman and the disinterest in fighting crime in Pine Bluff.
Stop.
Or this one.
Look at that. Okay, here's the meme. It's, oh my goodness. This one appears to mock Pine Bluff. It's a picture of Henry Cavill Superman, and the meme says, I fight crime and injustice, but not in Pine Bluff. I do not go to Pine Bluff. Okay, all right. So, apparently, if you claim that Pine Bluff has a crime problem, you're disqualified to be a state senator. And by the way, it's not even his district. He's up in Russellville and beyond. Wow, that's interesting. I want you to think of the dynamic here. I want you. This is such a hit job. This is a hit job. The only thing Asa Hutchinson has and the establishment has is, here's a candidate. He's limited government. He's conservative. He made these Facebook posts. He must be a racist. He's a racist. They're playing the race card, and this is how desperate Asa Hutchinson is. This is how desperate the Marble Palace establishment is to stop at all costs anyone who's going to disagree and not bow down and worship the Republican R at the end of his name. But here we go. You have Mike and Neil, who's pled guilty. You have Jake Files, who's pled guilty. You have John Woods, who's in the middle of a public corruption trial. And these three cases are not an anomaly. You have these lobbyists who are supporting Bob Bailey's opponent, and they are all intertwined with Michael Lamoureux, Bruce Hawkins, all of these guys. They represent the status quo. You got another guy saying, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be part of that. I want to represent the people. And this is what he gets. He gets attacked. It's absolutely, it's disgusting. Thank you, Joe. It is absolutely disgusting. So you look at the status quo, you look at the Jake Files status quo and everything else, and you say, okay, someone is saying that there's violence in Pine Bluff or there's crime in Pine Bluff versus more corruption. More of the same, more of the Jake Files, the John Woods, the Mike and Neil, the loans from lobbyists, the Michael Lamoureux, all of that good old boy system. You want more of that, or do you want somebody who criticizes and says, hey, you know what, there's a crime problem in Pine Bluff? I mean, which one do you want, folks? That's your choice, and you can see they are spinning out of their minds here. And if you ever have had any doubt at all that Asa Hutchinson, who is a Republican, somehow controls the mainstream media in this state, I rest my case. Case is rested. All right, now hang on, keep going here because there's more Facebook posts. Oh my gosh, what else? What else could it possibly be?
Showing photos of buttons that read "Think Chink," and this one defending the Confederate flag.
Okay,
Divisive language, coming.
All right, so here's this button. I don't even know. This is a photo of a button. I guess I don't know. It's Pekin High School, which are dragons, and it's from 1978, 1979. And yeah, it says something that's offensive nowadays. But, okay, oh, my goodness, this guy can't be a state senator. Oh, my gosh. What a hit job. These guys, and then, oh, my goodness, he posted a Confederate battle flag. Bob Bailey, he said this, in defiance of the stupidity that I refuse to participate in. You know what he's referring to here? He's referring to the editing of history. Something that part of the Republican Party was perfectly happy to do. They were happy to participate in the mentality that if we somehow erase history by separating Martin Luther King Jr. With Robert E. Lee on the same day, that somehow that's going to end disagreements. And the left's going to be satisfied. And the Republicans are finally going to prove that they're not racist, which is stupid to try to prove anyway because you're just adopting the left's contention that you are racist, and you're not. Okay, but the left's not satisfied. The left still wants to remove Confederate statues. The left wants to now remove statues of our founding fathers. We have these people who go around when they do finally tear down one of these statues. They treat these statues like they are sentient beings. They flip the statues off. These are crazy people. I mean, these are people they try to do some like WWE moves on these statues, like that they're just getting all of their aggression and anger. The videos are out there, and yet our Republican, and Asa Hutchinson spoke for it, like, okay, we're going to do this, and it's all for show. And so, I don't know what the date was when this was posted, but we know that there is a movement to try to edit our history so that people are not offended in an attempt to reach some sort of perfection that you're never going to reach. And I've talked a lot about how the real problem with the left and the young people who are trying to edit this is that they recognize injustice, but they have no way to reconcile it. Because we've pushed God out of our society, and he's the only thing that can reconcile injustice. This whole thing is a hit job. I've never seen anything quite like it, in Arkansas. But the election is a couple of days away. Election's a couple of days away. Early voting is going on, and like clockwork, we got to get out in front of this. We got to try to derail Bob Bailey's campaign because we can't possibly have him winning this. So let's go on his Facebook and let's make a non-issue. Let's make an issue out of what is a non-issue. And then let's get other Republicans like Senator Missy Irvin, who's commented on this now, or the President Pro Temp, Jonathan Dismang, who's commented on this now. And we're going to take a break, going to get to some Johnny Cash music. And when we come back, I'm going to get to their comments. And you just know that Governor Asa Hutchinson is behind this. He wants loyalists. He wants people to pledge fealty to him. And Bob Bailey has refused to do so. The other candidates, have endorsed his Arkansas Works plan, which is completely bogus. It's the continuation of a scam to give Blue Cross and Blue Shield all kinds of money, and it's extremely frustrating. The telephone number, call me or text me, 870-275-9799. We got to go to break, back in just a moment. If you're just joining us, mainstream media is now attacking Senate candidate Bob Bailey for Facebook posts, essentially alluding that they are racist. We were just talking about this one post. It's a picture of buttons. It's a picture of high school buttons that say "Think Chink" on them, and there's a dragon there. Okay, you see it's from Pekin High School from 78 to 79. That's the high school he went to. That's where Bob Bailey went to school. And so this disqualifies him, according to the mainstream media. This disqualifies him because he took a picture of buttons that used to be appropriate, that once were not considered what they are today. He also posted a Confederate battle flag on his page one time. He also posted, what else? Is that a school from Illinois? Yeah. Yeah, it's a school from Illinois. He also posted, a meme of Henry Cavill, Superman, saying, "I fight crime and injustice, but I don't go to Pine Bluff. I don't go to Pine Bluff." So he's recognized that there's a crime problem in our state or somewhere else, and so that's supposed to disqualify him. He also criticized Charles Blake after the shooting in Little Rock, where 17 people were killed because Charles Blake, now this is all alleged, this might have been an employee at his business, but the point is, it's just unbelievable. And listen to some of our Facebook comments. Signs of desperation. Asa is pathetic. What else we have? This is good. Stephanie. Our media all linked together and controlled by big government. It's always been the way, but only gotten worse, way worse. I bet you could link Soros to every news establishment as well. It's a gross form of abuse of its citizens. This is because this is a KRK hit piece directed by Asa Hutchinson and the Marble Palace establishment and all of the lobbyists that are supporting Breanne Davis. They're now attacking Bob Bailey. And I'm told, and I don't watch it, but I'm told up in Northeast Arkansas, KAIT, according to Tim on Facebook, gave 1 minute on this story and did not explain it at all. Now, why in the world would KAIT in Northeast Arkansas be reporting on this? I mean, there really is coordination here. Back in a minute. The coordination here, I'm going to get into this. This is just mad. The coordination is crazy. Michael on Facebook saying that KAIT in Northeast Arkansas is still running the story on Bob Bailey this morning. KAIT running the story about Bob Bailey over in Russellville. Okay. Then you have Tim saying, after watching KAIT, I had the impression it was something Bob had said yesterday. They didn't show Bob's post, but quoted Dismang, so I knew there was more to the story. You're exactly right, Tim, and you're getting the full story here on Conduit News Radio, and I just hope everybody is being able to see this for what it is. I hope they are. These people are desperate, and they have no shame. They don't care what the truth is. They will do anything to protect the money flowing to the government that is enriching. Little Rock, they are taxing the people of Arkansas to enrich Little Rock, to enrich themselves at the Marble Palace. And I'm sick of it. And they're using Facebook posts trying to allege that Bob Bailey's disqualified himself because he's racist, and he's not racist. These are not racist statements. They're just trying to do. They are. I'm telling you. Now, would some of these posts invite criticism from the left? You bet you, because the left is offended when it rains. The left is offended, when the snow falls. I mean, the left is offended at anything. Yeah, the snowflakes. And so you have people like Jonathan Dismang, the president pro temp of the Senate, who is not a man of his word. Because he said he would separate the Arkansas Works funding out of DHS, and he's never done it. I don't expect him to do it this time, so he's not a man of his word, even though he's on record as saying that. You have people like Asa Hutchinson that just want to get past the next 4 months. That's all that they care about. And so the truth to them is whatever group of words that these guys are more afraid of criticism from the left than they are. And so they probably, in their minds, they probably think it's a big deal. He posted a Confederate battle flag. He posted a Confederate battle flag and said, "I refuse to participate in this madness." Oh, my gosh, he's disqualified from the Arkansas Senate. Give me a break. You guys are so out of touch with the average Arkansan. It's pathetic. You guys are completely out of touch of reality. And what you're selling is nothing but progressive liberalism. Now, we're going to be talking, I'm going to talk to Bob Bailey about all of this, about this hit job coming up at 7:33. So stay tuned for that this morning on this Johnny Cash Friday. Matter of fact, Bob Bailey's listening on our Facebook page right now, facebook.com/Conduit News. You can check out the live video feed. And he just wrote, politics is often a dirty, nasty, and dangerous job, but hey, somebody's got to do it. And so this is, I want to talk about that for a second. Who wants to get into politics? What business owner out there wants to get in politics? Have you ever made a controversial Facebook post? You're disqualified. Have you ever made posts? Show these buttons. This is an Illinois Illinois, Joe, you pointed this out, a very liberal state, Illinois high school. Their mascot is a dragon of some kind, a Chinese dragon. And so they have these high school spirit buttons, right, from 1978 to 1979, and one of them says, and this may offend you, I'm sorry, but this is what it says, "Think chink." Okay, because it's a Oriental type dragon. Okay.
Is it just me? I said this to you when we were off air, but is there not any kind of irony lost here that they're ragging on someone for posting pictures of buttons, and like it's a liberal state, he's a Republican, or he's running for a Republican office? Is there not any kind of irony lost here that they're ragging on someone for being a part or being from a state that they would mostly agree with?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Illinois, liberal. So does that mean everybody that's come from there is disqualified? Or is it only from that school? Or is it only people that have come from there and haven't denounced what their old mascot was or old logos about what their mascot was? Like, I mean, for example, was Governor Beebe, would he be, he's a graduate of Arkansas State University that used to be the Indians, and they had this mascot right here. That's on my, what kind of cup is this? That's on my Arctic tumbler. Okay, this is Jumpin' Joe, right? Now, would Governor Mike Beebe, is he disqualified from being governor because he, are you got to denounce, or you can't make a post about, hey, look at this old Jumpin' Joe, button that I found. You post that on Facebook, and all of a sudden, nope, you're disqualified. Can you believe that? That's a scalp, by the way, that he's holding. Of course, the NCAA totalitarians, put an end to that. Anyway, I mean, come on. I mean, this Republican Party, these are a bunch of snowflakes. President Pro Temp, you're a snowflake, Jonathan Dismang, Senator Dismang, I guess. I mean, listen to this comment. Listen to what he said. Because KARK decided to give this story even more legs, Arkansas Republicans react to posts. Now, the editor-in-chief of KARK, Governor Asa Hutchinson, I'm assuming made a phone call or a text, or maybe it's on I don't know, like some sort of cryptic server that is in his office that enables him to communicate with the media. Maybe that's outside the FOIA laws. Probably, you know what? It's probably not a secret server that communicates with the media. I wonder if he has, I wonder if he has a secret server that communicates with any of his bureaucracies. Probably not. What am I talking about? Okay, headline. Arkansas Republicans react to posts made by state Senate candidate. Okay, so they do an update last night. Less than 24 hours after a report aired, we spoke to two Republican members of the Arkansas Senate who both issued comments about Bob Bailey's reported actions on social media. Notice how these are actions. They're not posts, but they're actions on social media. Okay, so here it is. Senator Jonathan Dismang represents District 28 and also serves as the Senate Pro Temp. He said, quote, "My initial reaction is disappointment. He needs to accept responsibility and have a conversation with the people in that district about the posts he has made." Have a conversation with a district that's not your own? Will you show the Henry Cavill meme again? It's actually pretty doggone hilarious. And it's illustrating, it's using a hint of comedy to illustrate that there's a problem in certain areas of the state with crime. So it's Henry Cavill's Superman, and it's just a picture of him, and he says, I fight crime and injustice, but not in Pine Bluff. I do not go to Pine Bluff. This is somehow disqualifying him. He's now disqualified. Now, come on. Are there any establishment Republicans out there that are looking at this and say, you know what? This is pathetic. I'm ashamed to be a Republican right now. I'm ashamed to be an ace. Is there anybody out there who sees this and they're seeing what they're doing to a candidate and you're saying, you know what? I'm kind of ashamed to be an ASA loyalist. This is not really what I signed up for. I mean, big government, sacrificing principles for supposed pragmatism and all this other stuff. But this is ridiculous.
See, okay, here's my issue with people like ragging on this meme. Okay, I know people from Pine Bluff, like they are from there, born, raised from there.
Right.
I have no idea what their political ideological slant is. I have no idea. Never talked to them about politics. Both of them call Pine Bluff Crime Bluff.
Crime Bluff, really? They
yes,
do.
Both of them.
Well, and we've got we had a listener the other day, right, from Pine Bluff who called in and left a message. So I mean, we have listeners there. But the question is, does making that observation disqualify you, right? Does criticizing State Representative Charles Blake after the shooting in Little Rock where you had 17 people who were killed, does criticizing him, by saying that he wants to punish, and they left that out of the story. They've still left that out of the story. The mainstream media has left out why the Facebook post that they really want to talk about, because he uses the word brethren, or an employee of his on the business page of Bob Bailey's gun business used the word brethren. And so now there's, they want to say, well, this is racist. I mean, all right, let's just ask Jonathan Dismang, do you believe that the appropriate response to the shooting in Little Rock last year is Charles Blake's solution, which is to ban how many bullets you can own? Right? Do you agree with that? I mean, do you understand how they're willing to just sacrifice any issue? They're willing to do whatever they have to do to try to get their candidate, Breann Davis, to win? That's what this is about. We've got to discredit Bob Bailey at all costs, and now we're using the mainstream. And you know what? I didn't realize. This is what's really funny. I'm putting all this together live on the air. I didn't realize that KAIT, an ABC affiliate, and KARK, an NBC affiliate, okay, are actually affiliates for Governor Asa Hutchinson. What's funny is it's almost like they're responding to Conduit News Radio, that thankfully has stations in Jonesboro, Stuttgart, Little Rock, Russellville, Fort Smith, Rogers, that carry the program, that carry what you're hearing right now. So I guess Asa had to, initiate his television network to try to cover this story, to get a biased and I guess they left out the relevant thing about, okay, well, why did he say that? Why did he criticize State Representative Charles Blake in that Facebook post? Or an employee criticize it? I think if it is an employee, I'd like to have that employee on. I think he makes a good point. Why should Charles Blake punish everyone else when none of us have gone and shot 17 people? Why should we have to limit how much ammunition we can purchase, or have the government tell us we can't purchase X amount of ammunition? You see, most Arkansans, if you knew the full story there, that KARK left out of their initial report, Tyler Thomason, they would say, well, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. And I think I want to vote for Bob Bailey, but they had to leave that part out. Okay, so two statements here. They do the follow-up story. Senator Jonathan Dismang represents District 28, also serves as Senate Pro Tem. My initial reaction in talking about Bob Bailey's Facebook posts: he needs to accept responsibility and have a conversation with the people in that district about the post he has made. Hey, Bob Bailey, if you're still listening, get ready, buddy, because this is the guy that you're going to have to be working with, is the president of the Senate Jonathan Dismang. Just get ready for that. This is but a taste. This is but a taste of what you're going to be walking into. Then they reached out to Senator Missy Irvin from District 10. That's up in the north central Arkansas area. Quote, I think it's unfortunate, she says. We need to be incredibly careful about what we put on social media. They, District 16, need to elect someone who has the demeanor of a servant. Okay? Can we go back through these photos? Now, I'm just assuming, if you just read that statement, doesn't necessarily mean Missy Irvin's saying that Bob Bailey doesn't have the demeanor of a servant. But apparently, I know that's what the media wants you to think. So this Facebook post, gosh, doesn't that scream that he's not a servant? Go to the next one. I mean, good grief. Next one. He's just not a servant. I mean, this is ridiculous, folks. These people are grasping at straws, and they're doing it because now, and there's also a possibility you have no idea about this story, and you get blindsided to the media, and you're like, oh, I don't know. Oh, he posted a Confederate battle flag. What a crazy thing. That guy's disqualified in a state like Arkansas to be senator. How dare him? You have to laugh about it at this point, because these people, they have no shame. They will stop at nothing. Other posts including, this is from the Arkansas Matters report, other posts including sharing a meme about crime in Pine Bluff and multiple Confederate flags. They're making a mountain out of a molehill here. And again, let's contrast this. Do you want a senator who will state what's on his mind and say that Pine Bluff has a crime problem, or Arkansas has a crime problem, which Arkansas does? We got people that are not serving out their full sentences, and they're immediately going back to crime. We've got proof of that. You had a Fayetteville couple that almost was murdered and kidnapped. If it wasn't really a miracle and you can talk to the victim, he got his arm bitten up, he had a gun in the car, but he was able to kick the other guy out of his car who had a gun. He was trying to kidnap him. This guy was arrested for bank robbery like a month earlier and was out on parole. It's like, what is going on? Why is this guy not in jail? Well, it's because we have a crime problem. And anyway, that's all on Asa Hutchinson as far as I'm concerned. But do you want somebody who's going to recognize that, or do you want to continue with the good old boy Asa Hutchinson, all in the family with the nephews? And now, of course, we have Jake Files, who has pled guilty. You have Micah Neal, who's pled guilty. You have John Woods in a public corruption trial with lobbyists and college presidents and taking taxpayer money. And I said this a couple weeks ago. You have to understand something. They are not an anomaly. There are more shoes to drop here. And you go look at that list. And I'm sure Breanne Davis is a very nice person, but the people who are supporting her campaign are doing so because they see themselves as puppet masters. And they are lobbyists whose financial livelihood depends on the status quo being maintained. Period. It's exhausting first hour. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys. I wanted to have just a lovely Johnny Cash Friday, listening to music, reminiscing about the news, not having to talk about new news. But when the Republican Party and really the establishment, let's just say when the establishment Republicans are now manipulating the media all across the state to attack Bob Bailey over Facebook posts that are much ado about nothing, it shows you that, again, Asa is terrified of criticism from the left because he thinks that this will undo his campaign. He thinks like a liberal. He's been influenced by liberals, and he's more afraid of leftist criticism than he is criticism from the right. That's why I think something like this will undo. And that's why the mainstream media is eating this up. Because, see, the mainstream media thinks like Asa does. They think, oh, my gosh, he used the word brethren to or possibly one of his employees did, or he's talking about, hey, by the way, when President Trump allegedly made his comments about Haiti. Everybody on the left freaked out. Can you believe he said that about Haiti, stating a fact? I mean, you know, do you see kind of the similarities there? Leftists, progressives are in control of our state government, even though we have been voting for Republicans since 2010 in this state en masse. And yet we don't have the reform yet that we've been voting on. We don't have legitimate tax reform. We have somebody like Asa that wants to just carefully craft the language to make you think you're getting it, but all he's really doing at the very most is trim around the edges, but he's not willing to make the spending cuts. And by the way, we've got a parody that's already dropped on Patreon. We'll be dropping it next week. That we won't get fooled again by Asa Hutchinson. I think so. What's the second verse? Let's see here. One of us, when the nephews are in control and the criminals are on parole, the only thing the people can do is vote. Asa doesn't care about our Constitution. His conservatism is an illusion. Line item vetoes and higher taxes. We all voted for him once, but he won't make spending cuts. Let's all vote and say, hey, Asa, we won't get fooled again. Back in just a moment. I spent an above-average time on Twitter yesterday, just kind of just trolling the... I'll admit, that's exactly what I was doing. I was on Twitter yesterday just trolling the Arkansas politics hashtag and the Arkansas legislature hashtag and the AR News. I just felt like I needed to express myself, and I just... I mean, I was saying factual stuff, but I mean, I was just like, I'm gonna post this and just, you know, see what they have. You know, it's just see what they do. Anyway, fun times. Yeah, some of the stuff was one of them was cryptic. I'm not gonna go into it. I'm not gonna go into one of the tweets that was cryptic. But you know, maybe you guys can figure it out. We're gonna get back into this when we come back. We're gonna reset here, and then we're gonna get to more Johnny Cash music. We have a little bit of a very minor controversy that's brewing between Senator Bart Hester and former Miss America Savvy Shields. I've got a few things to say about it. It's over a UALR billboard advertising dance to dance majors, pirouettes, pas de bourrées. Don't ask me how I know what that is. Plie, yes. Yes, Joe. Yes. You know. Yeah, anyway. Who says a talk radio host can't be cultured? We've got one more hour coming your way next. I hope you've enjoyed it. Republicans trying to derail, or I'm sorry, establishment Marble Palace, Democrats and establishment Republicans trying to derail Bob Bailey's campaign by using the mainstream media against him. We've done a good job illustrating that here, I think, this first hour. Share it with your friends. We're going to make a separate YouTube video of it. One more hour coming your way next.